What's going on, everybody? It is your humble YouTube live stream host, Tim, returning for the second time today because I had such a good, fun, enjoyable time streaming this morning that I said, let's run it back for the people in the back. You know, maybe for the people who are working, sleeping, doing various other activities. When we had our morning stream, I said, let's not let them feel left out. Let's return, let's talk. So we're here. I got some water on the way. Actually, here it is. I actually have my jug of water, but once a week, once every 2 weeks, since I don't have a car, you don't realize how heavy these are. And honestly, I can only carry, if I have groceries, I can only carry like one of these with my groceries when I'm walking home. So like once a week, once every 2 weeks, every 10 days, I'll order like 6 of them to get delivered. So I got my water delivery on the way, but we still got water. I got a kombucha in there. I might drink if the stream really gets going good and I need some energy. I got a kombucha in there, but if not, I'll just drink it with dinner. But right now we just got water. But if you see me looking at my phone, I'm watching my shopper down there to Safeway. Oh, shopping completed. Wow. Okay. Anyway, enough about me and my water. What's up, Ruby? Happy early Valentine's. When is Valentine's Day? Thank you. When is Valentine's Day? The 14th? Okay. I always forget about Valentine's. Appreciate those positive vibes as well. What up, Daniel? Bald Eagle. My February's going good. Actually, I think my February's going by pretty quick. Like it's already the 12th. So I'm excited about that. I'll be honest. I try to live in the moment, live every day, but I'm really waiting for spring. So May can't get here quick enough on some levels. I'm gonna enjoy February, March, April, but I'm really excited for May. So yeah, I'm kind of glad February is going by pretty quickly. How's your February going? D Skizzle, what up, what up, what up? How's my chicken? I didn't have chicken today. I had wings yesterday. The hot wing place that always cancels my order on Uber Eats, actually, it went through the other day, yesterday. So I was excited about that. Not as excited with the fact that it took the dude like 35 minutes to get here. So my wings were a little cold. He kept me updated the whole time, but he said the app was sending him other places first. Either way, I didn't complain because I thought it might look bad on him. And, he seemed like a nice guy. He kept me updated. And I didn't want him to get in trouble if it really was the app. I don't want to risk it. So I didn't say anything, but it was good to have hot wings. I hadn't had hot wings in a while, but they were kind of cold. And my onion rings was kind of cold. But cold onion rings is cool. Yeah, onion rings is onion rings. I didn't complain. I took a moment and zenned out. And I was like, you know what? If you have the abundance to get hot wings Uber eated to your door, calm down. Like you're okay. They can be cold. Jay Hart, how you doing? That's love. That's love. How you doing? Mountain State Matt, good evening. Burning question checking in. Hello, mate. What up, Wendy? How you doing? How you doing? April's your birthday, Bald Eagle, and you're going to vacation? Nice. Yeah. Vacay is amazing. Like I just got back from vacation. It was awesome. Vacay hits a lot harder when you're working, or I should say travel. Like when I'm just traveling, travel's amazing. I love it. But when like I'm working and I got to earn that travel and I have to wait until the specified dates to go, it hits a lot harder. Because like you need it then. You need to get away then, Savannah, what up? Pang, checking in. Oh, Duck, you haven't, what did I call you before? Duke? Duck? Duke? We're going to go with Duke. Having some fried chicken? Nice. Yeah, when was the last time I had some really good fried chicken? I don't eat a ton of fried foods anymore. I had some fried wings a while back from Walmart, and that was a mistake. But when was the last time I had some good fried chicken? I'm trying to think. Might have been me and my buddy Mike and my friend Rachel. We all went out and went to a local place and had fried chicken a while back. That was a while back. I was like this summer. So it's been a minute. Yeah, Victory. I had to come back. Had to come back. Check back in for the people who wasn't here this morning. We had a great stream this morning. Had an amazing 3 hour stream this morning, and I was like, I'm gonna do it again. There's no rules. I can do what I want. It's my channel. They let me have my own channel, so I'm gonna do what I want. So I want to talk to my friends again. So we're here again. We're here again. What up, A. Williams? Oh, you like this shirt, Victory? Thank you. Yeah, a little Amazon. You know me. You know me. Chris Adams, how you doing? Good day to be thankful. Every day is a good day to be thankful. Like that, and that sounds cliche and whatever, but it's true. Like, especially a good day. Every day is a day to be thankful, but there's some days where you're like, I'm thankful, but I'm also aggravated. You know what I mean? I'm also in pain. You know what I mean? But some days, like a good day where things are good, and like today was my day off, and got to spend time with y'all, and had steak for lunch. Like, definitely want to be thankful for those days. Black hole, we here. What's a good place to visit nature if you're alone in Denver? How far are you willing to venture? Because within an hour and a half drive in Denver, there's so many awesome places. I'm trying to think of a place like how much nature. Like I like parks. You know what I mean? So I think Washington Park is an amazing park to visit in the Denver area. But as far as like nature, Rocky Mountain National Park is only hour and a half, 2 hours outside of Denver, I think. Yeah, how far nature are you trying to get? Yeah, I mean, our 3883, our live numbers, we might get up to 200 every now and then. But it's a blessing anytime you turn the camera on and people tune in. So like, yeah, you like it when there's more people in and we're all having a good time, but anytime, you turn the camera on and people tune in, whatever the number, we chill, we good, we outside. Plus it's a little early, so Doctor, I don't want the NBA to have a lockout. Excuse me. I don't care what the NBA does. I don't want the WNBA to have a lockout, a strike, whatever. However, if it has to happen, it will make the price of, I think it'll make the price of trading cards go down. And I do like to, dibble and dabble in my WNBA trading cards. So I might be able to get some good cards pretty cheap. But they're stupid if they let there be a lockout. Like, you gotta take advantage of the Caitlin Clark buzz. And even if they do miss a season, I'm sure she'll still be just as popular a year from now. But like, that's a lot of money you're missing out on. If she's got 15 good years, you want to be bringing that money in all 15 years. So if the owners and if they can't come to an agreement, it's crazy because there's a lot of money. And I'm here to tell you, as someone who has been a fan of women's sports before, especially the WNBA, before everybody else came over, I'm telling you, there's money. And even the people who still talk crap about the WNBA, I'm telling you, there's money there. And I don't even think we've seen the potential for the money. So if they screw it up for a season, that's on them. But I hope there isn't a lockout. But they need to hurry up and figure something out. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. What up, Dark Ocean? Lunch Money. What up? I love that name. Cloud Cactus checking in. Clyde said, I'm in college and getting a pile of debt. Job market is so competitive. I'm considering doing some seasonal work after graduating to hopefully build up cash. Hey, I say go for it. Go for it. And I think that's a good alternative to the standard. I'll get out of college and I'll apply for the same jobs that everybody else is applying for. You know what I mean? I always feel like in life, if you can do something a little different, you might come out ahead. Because like, yeah, if the job market is that competitive, why jump into that competitive pool? You know what I mean? Like if the top 10% of whatever you're trying to do are struggling, you know what I mean? Like, why am I going to play that game? Not saying I couldn't win it, but why even, if I can find an alternative path that will help me build up cash too, and visit some really cool places, meet some cool people, why wouldn't I do that for a few years and see what's up? I think that's a smart plan. Very smart plan, Clyde. Yeah. Victor, you've been in 2 car accidents in 1 month? Sorry to hear that. Transmission is shot after being stuck in the snow. Um, it can be hard to stay positive with all that going on. I will be. Uh, we have to be honest about that. And sorry to hear all the things you got going on. Prayers for your dad. Hope he gets out of the hospital soon. Um, I'm big on the fact that there are times where like we can only be as hopeful and as positive as we can be. Now, a lot of times we could be more hopeful and positive. We're just not. And those are the times I think we really need to work. But I think we have to give ourselves grace of like, there are times where you're just like, bro, like, in those times like these, I think your main goal is getting through it, you know, and just having enough hope to know you will get through it, right? It may not be the time period where you jump out of bed every morning, like, ooh, I love my life. Yeah. You might just getting out of bed is a win. Just going through the day is a win. You know, there are hard times. There are times we're going to struggle. And like, it's okay to be like, hey, I'm just trying to get through this. You may not catch me smiling. You may not catch me, as happy as normal. I just need to get through this. And I think that's okay. We don't always have to be the most positive person in the room. Sometimes we struggling. Sometimes we down. But like, if we get through it, that's a win. So that just like, I'm going to get through this. If we can just hold on to that, I'm going to get through this. Sick family members are going to get better. My health problems are going to get better. Eventually, people are going to stop hitting me in these cars. Snow's going to go away. I just got to believe and get through. Like, and then when you do get through, I think the positivity will come back on its own. But definitely prayers. Definitely prayers. We're going to put up some prayers. So for all those situations to quickly resolve themselves for you. Yeah, because sometimes it's rough, man. Sometimes it's rough, but hang in there. Keep going. We got you. We got you in our prayers. I promise you. Oh, Duke is for the Cotty. Okay, okay, okay. My substitute for liquor. I don't really have a substitute. I just live my life. So I feel like if you have to have a substitute for something, you haven't really gotten over it. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh, I'm not going to drink. Instead, I'm going to do like that means I'm still drinking in my mind. Like I don't equate anything with drinking. I haven't drank in 7 years plus. So like I don't equate anything with drinking. You know what I mean? I just live my life, and drinking is just not a part of it anymore. So I think that's an area where overall we, in a lot of talk about addiction and overcoming it, I think that's something to kind of really think about. It was like, yeah, we don't need substitute. In the beginning, maybe you do, but like as time goes on, you don't need to look at it that way. You just live your life without alcohol, live your life without whatever addiction you were struggling with. You don't have to equate something with what took over for it. I watch women's soccer. Yeah, I'm a big Portland Thorns fan. I didn't watch last season because Morgan Weaver and Sophia Weaver Wilson, I think it is now, um, were out. But I think they're both back. So it is on the bucket list if to go to a Portland Thorns game. If I could go this year, that would be amazing. If I can get to Portland and go to a Thorns game, that would, like that's yeah, yeah. So yeah, I watch women's soccer. What up, Savannah? Heading to Texas to camp at the beach. Nice, nice. Have fun. Let's go. Like that. Exactly. 38. Yeah, if there's one person interested, we keep talking. Oh, lunch tips, Trey Mills. I see you. I see you, Trey Mills. Yeah, lunch money. I like that. Lunch money. That's a good day. Any quick book recommendations? The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. That's a good one too, Frame. Thinking about those, as you put it, mentally screenshotting those bad days, and when you're up, think about it. And just like, bro, I was there. Look where I'm at now. And it helps us when we go through another set of those bad days to be like, oh, I remember back in 2024, I had a rough one. We was up. We're up again. I think my water just got here. Give me 1 second. Cool. We good. We good. 6 1-gallon jugs of water delivered. Loretta, how you doing? Lene, check it in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Matt, 13 years alcohol free. Best decision ever made. Hey, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Very proud of myself to this day of fighting that fight, you know. What up, Bella? Oh, wow. That's crazy, Loretta. Sorry to hear that. At least you found out. At least you found out. That's crazy. Dang. I guess that is one upside of always owing money. Nobody's ever nobody's ever gonna do no one wants to do that with me. That's crazy, Loretta. At least they found out. I'm glad they found out and let you know. That's crazy. Hope you get that all sorted out. Sorry to hear that. Wow. Dang. But yeah, at least they found out. You could have been trying to do your taxes and they'd be like, or maybe that is what happened. Did you do your taxes? And they're like, wait a second, somebody already did these. Whoa, that's crazy. Sorry to hear that. Stoic Warrior, what's up? Like that name. Checking in from Canada. Blue, I'm in Montana. Yeah, I'm still in Montana. I definitely get that, Loretta, feeling vulnerable, violated. I that is one of the reasons I don't like everything being online like it is these days. Like, yeah, I can totally understand that feeling vulnerable and violated, you know? Ugh. Oh, they did it in January? You don't do it till March? Oh, so you're gonna start doing it earlier? Hey, I don't blame you. That's actually good to know. I never thought about that. Hey, but shout out to you for being a fighter, being on the phone, government websites, doing what you got to do. Sorry to hear you're going through that, but good to hear you're going through it, going through with it. You know what I mean? Dang, that's great. Whew. You know, yeah, like you said, taking them steps, trying to pay off debt, get your credit right now. So people out here playing. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Loretta. Dang, you're gonna get through it. Prayers for you as well. We got prayers for you as well. Yeah, no. See, I'm glad we did this stream tonight. We got people to pray for. If nothing else, we praying. You know what I mean? So hope you get that all taken care of, Loretta. That's crazy. What up, Siobhan? CM? Glad to hear victory. Your victory over substances, over alcohol and other substances. Rick, you say you're going through. I just got to get through this phase as well. Definitely not easy. I'm glad the streams and the community here can help. You know, I think that's why we are the social creatures we are, is to learn from each other and help each other. So I'm glad we can help you. You'll get through it. You know, that's not something I say. You see it. You know, we go through this stuff. I've been through it, and there's times where you're just like, bro, like this ain't it. You know what I mean? But like, I just got to get through it. You know what I mean? And it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not, but we get through it. And then, a lot of times we get back to the easy. We've earned a little easy after some of these things we go through. So prayers for Rick as well. Let's just pray for everybody. Let's pray for everybody. We got you. We got you. We're gonna continue to have you and try to help Rick. So hang in there. Keep going, please, please. What up, Ricky? Ricky Ticky. Yeah, Loretta, that's one of those things that like I think we all hear about, but you hope it never happens to you. So that is crazy, you know. Um, Let us know if they teach you any techniques to keep that from happening again. What up, D Jackson? And glad the streams are helping. Genuinely, like I mean, that's at the end of the day, if you can turn the camera on and people tune in and we can all help each other out and, you know, bring a little more joy and positivity and help us all to get through whatever we're going through because we all go through stuff. Different times more extreme than other times, but like I think that's one of the blessings of the internet. We spend a lot of time talking about the bad part of the internet and demonizing social media, and there is that part of it. But I think sometimes we forget the positives. Of like, you know, just the good. But you do have to tune into the good part of the internet. I think a lot of times people are actively on the bad side of the internet talking about how bad the internet is. It's like, well, you have to like seek out the good part of the internet. If you always just hang out in the bad part of town, you're gonna think that's the worst town ever. It's like sometimes you got to go uptown, or is it downtown, or is it the suburbs? Sometimes you got to go to the suburbs. But yeah, I think one of the beauties of the internet is we can help each other out without being face to face with each other, which is amazing for introverts like myself. So yeah, thank you, Cloud. Yeah, actually, I did trim the beard up a little before the stream, if we're being honest. Did my camera just go out of focus for a little bit? Better not. That's good. It's good. Okay. Howard, good to see you. I've been here. Where you been? No, I'm joking. It's good to see you. Good to see you. I'm good. How did I go about getting rid of my belongings for your journey? Having such a hard time? Honestly, I never had a ton of stuff, Treasure. So I think it might have been a little easier for me because I didn't have a ton of stuff anyway. And then, I use, is it the 4Ds? Dollars, dumpster, 3Ds. Dumpster, dollars, donate. The 3Ds. Dumpsters, dollar, donate. So I either threw it in the trash, I donated it, or I sold it. I started with sell, and then, stuff that you think somebody might could do something with, I donated. Everything else, just threw it away. And that last D, dumpster, that one is very helpful. Just throw it in the trash. Like, if you can get to the place where like, and it helped that I was moving. Like, I had a hard cutoff. January 1st, I wasn't gonna have this apartment no more, right? My apartment in Florida. So like when I first started, so I had to have all this stuff gone by January 1st. So that was very helpful for me because I'm just like, you get to a point where it's like, okay, I've sold what I could sell. I've donated what I could donate. I still got this stuff. I'm just throwing it away because I don't feel like, haggling with people on Craigslist about, for $3, So I just threw a lot of stuff away. Very simple. You just walk to the dumpster, throw it in. But I understand that it's not like, yeah, it's really easy to get rid of stuff. It's getting yourself to a place mentally where you can do that. That's the hard part. But for me, I've like I said, I didn't have a ton of possessions anyway, because I've never been a possession heavy person, or never really put a ton of stock in possessions. Like if it's not my hobby stuff, like my comic books were hard. But even then, I eventually just started putting them out by the road with a free sign on. You have all these dollar comics that you can't sell. If you put them on eBay for 6 months, you could probably sell it. You know what I mean? But you can't sell them. The comic book store don't want them. I just put them out by the road free. Did I lose money? Yeah, but if you can get to the point where you don't worry about if you lost money on something, but you're just like trying to get rid of it, yeah, give it away, throw it away. That's what I did with a lot of the stuff I had. Glad we're helping your mental state, Victory. Genuinely. Glad to hear that. Oh, the IRS sent you a letter? Okay. You still see good in the world already, just not for the past 3 days. I get that. That's the thing too. Yeah, Howard, the more you bring in, the more you got to get rid of. So yeah. Okay, Lene's been purging the house. Capital letters. Sell, donate, dumpster. Have all these kids, we have way too much. I imagine with kids, yeah, you accumulate a lot more too, because you buying stuff for multiple people. I accumulate stuff just me. So I can imagine with kids. But yeah, I mean, if you honestly think about what do we really need? How much of the stuff we have do we actually really use? And if you work off that, like I said, it's the mental part of it, I think, is the hardest part. Once you get the mentals of like, I'm getting rid of this stuff, I'm purging. It's not like, it's just the time then to go through the stuff and figure out what you're getting rid of and how you're going to get rid of it. But that the biggest hurdle is the mental, because we put a lot of like, oh, these are my possessions. I spent money on them. I don't want to lose money. This is part of some of this stuff seems like it's part of our identity, things of that nature. If I get rid of all this stuff, what are people going to think if they come over and my house is damn near empty? But like, if you can get through all that, yeah, you just start giving. It actually gets exciting. It started getting exciting for me. I'm like, man, what else can I get rid of? But yeah, I'm now on the backside of it. I live so simply, you know. When I have an apartment or something, like furniture, what's that? Like, I promise you, this chair I think is the most. Is this the most expensive piece of furniture I have? Maybe my bed. The night the uh the bed frame and the mattress combined cost more than the chair, I think. But this is probably like, yeah, that I very little furniture. I just don't care no more. Let's see. Matt got into a lot of your possessions, embraces minimalist lifestyle. Let's go. Let's go. It's a good lifestyle. Retired 2019. How you doing? See, people are surprised when they find out you're a minimalist. People, I think a lot of people, if you've never met a minimalist, they just assume everybody just wants to accumulate as much stuff as possible. But I could get it like in retail when you see people just buying. I could get you being like, nah, I ain't trying to be like that, you know. Especially when you know, if the quality of the products you know aren't that good. Alvin Anthony, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much. Let me give you a like on that real quick. As hey Tim, I decided not to retire, but keep on working until I cannot work anymore. Your thoughts? Hey, do you whatever works for you? You know me. I just want us to do what works best for us. If you feel like retirement isn't the move for you, keep working. You know, like I said, there's nothing wrong with work. We actually like meaningful work. So if you're working and you enjoy it and you have valid reasons for continuing to work, keep working. You know. Now, if not saying you, but if someone continues to work out of fear, then that's a different story, I think. But if you genuinely just like working and you just want to keep working because you can't think of anything else you want to do, that's fine. You know, that's fine. You don't do you know, whatever makes you happy. As long as people happy, I just want people to be happy, you know, and do it for the right reasons. But as long as we're being honest with ourselves about what our real reasons are, you know, fine with me. You know, that would be my thought. You know, good luck, and I appreciate the abundance. Thank you. Yeah, if you can't remember the last time you used it, it's got to go. Yep, and so much of the stuff we have we never use. We just move it around the house, move it from house to house. Like let that stuff go. Hey, Aqua, you're welcome. You're welcome. And congratulations on 3 years sobriety. That's amazing. That's amazing. Let's go. Let's go. Bam, hello. At what age did I stop caring? A Williams, I think it's been a process, you know. I don't know if I could point to a specific age and be like, that's exactly when I stopped caring. It's kind of a process. I think I just start caring less and less over time. Over the past 12 years or so, I think I just started caring less and less, you know. Retired vet, I like that. So I had an epiphany a year ago, paid some guy $200 to get rid of stuff from my yard, worked my butt off to get money for the stuff, had to work more to get money to get rid of it. That's what I'm saying. Like things that like we bring into our life that we genuinely want in our life, like possessions, things, you don't mind spending the money on because you use it, you appreciate it, you enjoy it, you know? So even in a lot of that stuff has either you've just used so much of it that when you go to throw it away, you don't care because you just loved it and used it. Or a lot of that stuff kind of sometimes has value when you go to get rid of it, you can sell it. But yeah, there's so much stuff that we really don't even care about. we spend our money on, we blow our money on it. You got to pay someone to haul it off because it's junk. It was junk when we bought it. We didn't really need it. Like it's I don't know. That's why I don't. I'm big on that too. Is like, and I am trying to, if I'm being honest, I'm trying to have less of the mindset of like I always am moving, because eventually I may want to get to the space of where like I'm like, okay, I'm home. I'm going to stay in this spot the rest of my life or for the foreseeable future. It's hard for me to think like that now. Um, so I am trying to change that. But one thing now, the mindset I have now of like, oh, I probably won't be here in a year. It's hard for me to buy anything of any like if I can't put it in a backpack, I ain't really, you know what I mean? Like this chair was like what, $120, something like that. I won't mind throwing this chair in the dumpster when I'm finished using it. Like I know I'll get my money's worth out of it. Um, but anything substantial that I know I can't take with me, that I'm gonna pay a ton of money for, bro. Like I can't do it. I can't do it. Like or anything, even if it's not just something I pay a lot of money for that I don't think I can take with me on the road. I can't do it. Like nah, because I'm like I'm gonna be wasting my money. So now if it's something I really care about, like I said, and it's worth the money, and I'm like, okay, a year from now I'll be cool selling it or whatever. That's fine. But that's a big thing in my mind. I'm like, bro, I can't take that with me. I'd have to rent a U-Haul to move. Nope, not doing it. Can't buy it. Yeah, treasure. It is harder if you have that mindset that everything's valuable. Yeah, yeah, and that's not we all have different views on things. You know what I mean? So like if you just kind of if that's in your DNA, that everything has value, it's gonna be harder to get rid of stuff because like you said, you'll find out nobody's trying to pay for a lot of it. So it'll be harder. It is harder for people. I've had friends who are like, man, I paid money for this. Like, I can't just throw it away. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Eventually you probably gonna have to though. You know what I mean? But it's harder. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely easier for someone like myself who I don't mind throwing stuff away. You know. Yeah, I think that's a good one, Loretta. Don't just throw your mail in the trash. Yeah, I'm big on that. Things with addresses, I try to chop up, cut up, shred if possible. I rarely have a shredder, but a pair of scissors does the job. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, I've always been kind of big on. Howard, it does feel good to take care of others, especially family. It does. I mean, I think that's part of the reason we're here is to, help others. It's life has so much more meaning when there's others we can help through this process as well. Sandra, you're welcome. You're welcome. Wow, listen to the videos every morning. Okay. I got to come up with some new ones then. You're probably running out of videos. That's awesome, Sandra. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. And I'm glad the videos start your morning on a good note. That's amazing. That like makes me feel really good, like genuinely. So thank you. Now, yeah, I got to make some more videos. No pressure. No, gotcha. Anyway, it is time for some more videos. It is. Bev, I'm good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. FR, what you going through with the bots? What's going on? Siam, I'm currently playing Icarus. I mean, I dabble in video games. Honestly, I watch a lot of gameplay. I mean, like today I was watching a streamer I really like, Brian Maynard. He's actually really blowing up on YouTube lately. But he's playing Humanity. So I've been watching him for the past few days. I'll probably watch that this evening before I go to bed. So I have, some YouTube streamers I really like to watch. Rad Brad, Mini a True Nerd, Code Carnage. I watch them play video games. Every now and then I'll see a game. Like I watched a lot of Icarus gameplay and I was like, I'm gonna try it. I like that. That's my kind of game. So every now and then, maybe twice a year, I'll buy a game. But typically I just watch other people play it. I'm pretty simple. Why buy the game and then have to have a, which I do want to upgrade my PC soon, my laptop soon, but I just, let other people have the expensive setup and I just watch them play the games on my cheap laptop. You know what I mean? I'm a simple person. Can I imagine never making the decision to leave the 9 to 5? I can imagine it, yes. But I'm glad I've left the traditional 9 to 5 many times. I'm glad I left kind of living a traditional life. But I can imagine not doing it. I can't really imagine what my life would look like if I hadn't. I'm kind of scared to go down that road, but because I might not have stopped drinking. And if I hadn't stopped drinking, I'd probably be dead or in jail right now. So not even exaggerating. So I don't really like to head down that road, but I could imagine me not taking the steps I took, giving into the fear, the uncertainty, and be like, oh, I'm just going to stay and do. That could have happened, but I'm glad it didn't. I'm very thankful to Tim in the past for the decisions he made so that I could be Tim right now in the present. And one of the things I was watching a video today. There's a girl makes YouTube videos, Lola Rose. I really appreciate, I think I posted one of her videos before. I really appreciate her content. Like if I had a daughter, I would want her to be like her. That's how you know you're getting older. I know I'm solidly middle-aged plus, that when I look, sometimes when I look at people, I'm like, if I had a daughter, I want her to be like her. But she was saying something she was like talking to her future self in the video. And that was a good reminder. I'm like, Tim, the things you do now are for you, but also for future you. So just like past you did some really good things to get us to where we're at now, we got to keep paying that forward. So if there are some things that maybe we're like, I don't know if I want to do, you're not just doing it for you. You're doing it for future you. So he can look back and be thankful for present you. So, I think that's a good point. Alvin said, this month is African American History Month. Your thoughts? This is going to be controversial, but you asked. I don't need NASA to hand me a month, respectfully. Like I respect the intention when they did it, and I'm cool with Black History Month, but I don't really need it. You know what I mean? I'm a grown man, so like, you know what I mean? Not to mention when I was in school, all they did, and hopefully they've changed it by now, but February was the most negative month for me because all they did was show civil rights movies, and like you don't get to the end of like, you know what I mean? School's an hour, class is an hour. February is only 1 month. So most of the time in the videos and stuff we watched, we only got to see the negative parts. You only got like slavery and Jim Crow. We didn't watch long enough because there's only an hour in the movie to get to the positive, to the we shall overcome. They was just about to start singing we shall overcome when the bell rang. We had to leave. Next day we start. You know what I mean? So like Black History Month was always like a negative month for me because all they did was talk about all the negative stuff that happened to Black people. And then we would start to talk about the positive and the month was over. Come back next year. So like, you know what I mean? Respectfully, like I respect the good intentions that there might have been in having Black History Month, but like, not to mention, if I'm being honest, like I'm in Montana, so not like anybody really mentions it except at like work on the corporate emails. Oh, in honor of Black History Month, let's talk about all the positive things. I don't need all that. I don't need your fake, oh, we have to do this because it's Black History Month, Black people pity party. Like, I don't need your fake, like, if I'm doing well, praise me all throughout the year. If Black folk doing good, talk about it when you talk about, you know what I mean? All throughout the year when you talk about everybody else. We all equal in this. I don't need a month. I'll take it. Just like when they handed out checks, I'll take it. Free money from the government, stuff like that, stimulus checks. I'll take it. So like that's how I feel about Black History Month. Like I'll take it and it's cool, but like I don't need. We got to get to the point where like we done assing massa we just get it on our own, bro. Let's go. It's been too long. Like, that's my opinion. I know a lot of people don't agree, but you asked. Okay. I don't know. I don't think anyone ever told me I look like Seal. No, I don't think I get a lot of you look like this person. I don't think anyone's ever said Seal. Hey, 2 cents. Thank you. I don't think it's that last one. I don't think it's quite at half a mil yet. See, I'm the type of person I don't like to round up. So that video is only at 493,000. So I don't like to say it hit half a mil till it hits half a mil. I do have some videos that went. I mean, I think my highest one is 2 million, but hashtag blessed. But I don't like to like I never round up. Never. Like I don't round up. You know, and like when it's like my achievements or accomplishments, until I hit it, I don't give myself props for hitting it. So I've always been that type of. I don't even round the time up. Like if I'm at work, people say, "What time is it?" It's 3:30. No, it's 3:27. It'll be 3:30 when it's three. I'm weird. Okay, moving on. But thank you. We working. Thank you. More importantly, what you said, nice work. Thank you. I went off a tangent. I'm sorry, 2 cents. I do that, but thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, $75 games, monthly subscriptions. But games aren't the only. Everything's a monthly subscription now. So yeah, it's so much easier to just watch other people play. I I get that, Howard, and I hear a lot of people say that. Trying to figure out this meaning of life, it seems pointless. Here's my thoughts on that. I think when we're going, the only time we look for the meaning of life is when we're going through a period where things seem pointless. It's not so much that like we need to find the meaning of life. It's because currently none of the stuff that previously was giving us meaning is doing that. Or maybe that stuff is left. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we look at it like, I can't find the meaning of life, so everything seems pointless. It's really, for some reason, everything started seeming pointless in your life. So you're questioning the meaning of life. My goal in those situations is to get back to like finding things that have meaning. I don't think we ever figure out the meaning of life. I think what happens is we start to find things that bring us enjoyment and we don't question it anymore. You know? So it's just like, what was I doing 6 months ago when life had meaning? And sometimes I think, yeah, we just go through a funk. It could be a chemical imbalance. It could be just something shifted. Because it's been my experience that in the future, I'm living pretty much the same life, but all of a sudden it kind of, is doing it for me again. All of a sudden, I'm not questioning the purpose and the meaning of life. I'm living. So like I think when living is good, and we're where we need to be for whatever reason, it's fine. So I don't think it's a problem we have to solve, like the grand problem of what's the meaning of life, because people have been asking that forever. I think it's more of the much simpler problem of like, okay, what's shifted in my life that's got me feeling this way? I just need to answer for my life, not the greatest problem in human history, because that could be overwhelming. Just like, hey, what can I do that'll make me happy again? And that could be something simple. You never know. So hang in there. Hope you find out soon what it is. I'm sure you will. Prayers for you as well. Like we sending out lots of prayers, and we ain't charging for them or nothing. We send some people charge to give out prayers, which is crazy. I'm gonna talk to God for you. That'll be $39.95. That's crazy, but we giving out prayers for free around here. Hang in there. Oh, where am I in the chat? There we go. Sonia, how you doing? Good to see you. Happiest day. Oasis of Change. I totally agree. That school is like, a lot of schools look like prisons. I'm from down Florida ways, especially when I lived out in the country where there's lots of prisons. A lot of schools look like prisons these days, man. They treat you like a prisoner, low key, in some school. Oh, Army Marine, they still doing the same stuff on Black History Month? Okay, okay. Poetry Girl would hire me as a life coach. Hey, I appreciate that compliment. Thank you. And peace and blessings to you as well. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, AJ, Montana's a vibe. Like I always enjoy Montana when I'm here. I think that's why I keep coming back. I got some really good friends here. Some of my best friends in life. Some of the best human beings I know live here. So I keep coming back for them. But yeah, Montana's just it's a vibe. You know, it's a cool state. I put the woofing video, I think, unlisted. I don't think I deleted it. I just unlisted them. I'm pretty sure that one was based on views, and it's the only video I had about woofing, and it was negative. And so that's really not the type of energy I want to put out there. Like if I had 10 videos on woofing and one of them was like, oh, I had a bad experience, but like the only one I have is negative, it's kind of like, what's the point? You know? Plus, I just think views. Sometimes I'll just go through and like any video that has less than whatever views, I put it private. It's an algorithm kind of hack, but yeah, I mean, when you have over 1,000 videos and I don't know how many live streams, you have to kind of par it down, you know, because the algorithm tries to send every person to the video that works best for them. So you can end up, if you've got 2,000 pieces of content, you can end up everybody getting sent to different. It's better to have lots of people being sent to the same videos, is what I'm trying to say. So I go through routinely and I enlist videos just so that the number of videos I have active is less. So if it's trying to send people, the algorithm sending, it sends more people to the same video, which then it turns around and sees like, oh, this video is getting more views. So it sends more people, as opposed to it sending one person to one, you know what I mean? One video, like does itself. Yeah, it's kind of an algorithm hack. But I think that one too was just because like eventually I was like, bro, I think this energy is a little off, you know. Antoinette, what's up? To buy another rebellion. Let's go. You going to Texas in 2026, Lakers? Nice, nice. Yeah, Austin's a vibe. Yeah, you were just in Austin, right? Austin's a vibe, man. Austin's a vibe. I got a good friend who lives there. Yeah, I got a good friend. I think she's still in Austin. I need to check in on her. But yeah, Austin's a vibe. Hey Ken, you know it's all yeah. I think it is important to love people, and I know this is something we're really not taught to do. If you think about it, how much time in our life is spent on talking about actually loving other people? We talk about romantic love, right? But how often are we taught? Does anyone talk about genuinely loving other people outside of like church? And even then, but you know what I mean? Like how often? Like they probably couldn't even say it in school. These days, as crazy as things are, a teacher would probably get fired if she was like, hey, kids, remember to love each other. They'd have her up out of there. Mr. Smith, you cannot say that. Hey, kids, remember, we all love each other. Whoa. You know what I mean? You never know. These days are crazy. So there's no talk about loving each other non-romantically. But like, bro, that's the thing. Like, we got to love each other. Everybody. Not just the people who think like you or look like, love everybody. Why not? What do we have to lose? Why are we so scared to love people and tell them we love them? That's another one. Even people we love, we don't say it. You know, I try. Like I will admit, I do have some people I love that like they're not big on it, so I know like it makes them uncomfortable, so I don't say it. But like all my other peeps, hey, love you, bro, love you, sis. Like for real, like if I love you, I'm gonna say it 9 times out of 10. And you just have to deal with it. Except for, like I said, people I know, I've said it and they were like, I'm okay. I don't want to, but and I've had friends who like at first they were kind of like, um, and then they start saying it. They beat me to it now. Hey, love you. We about to, hey, love you, man. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? So like, it's important. I think it's a big deal to love people and to let people know you love them. Um, because yeah, when you love people, like, hey, love you too, Ken. Thank you. But yeah, when you love people, it's different. When and it can start with the people you are close to and you love, and then I think you'll naturally find yourself extending that love to more people. And the more love you extend to people, that's why I used to say all the time, I love everybody, and I still say it now. But there was a time there where I was saying it regularly because like I was trying to get that mind state of like I love everybody. That it's hard to judge people when you love them. You know what I mean? If your mind state is I love everybody, now there's some people I don't like. My mom used to say this. She's like, I love everybody. That don't mean I like them. You know what I mean? So like there's some people you may not like, you may not want to be around them. I still love them. I got love for them. So when you come from a place of like, I love everybody, it's a lot harder to judge people. How am I gonna say I love you, but then I'm judging you, especially if it's for pointless stuff. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, just hey, I got love for you as a fellow human being. I got love for you. People love pets more than humans a lot of times, which is crazy. Not saying you can't love pets, but I'll tell you, this is hilarious. I watch a lot of reaction videos of people reacting to movies and shows. 18 people can get killed. People are like, oh, that's crazy. Let somebody throw a beer bottle at a dog, they start crying. I'm like, you didn't just see 18, 20 people get massacred? And that was all, let somebody kick a dog. Oh, I don't know. I think, or not saying either is right, but it's just like, for humans, we're just like, whatever. Why can't we have that same love we have for pets for humans? You know what I mean? Oh, where are we at? Where are we at in the chat? I'm gonna be honest with you, Christopher. I grew up in a Christian household. I no longer would call myself a Christian, so I don't know where I'm at with Jesus being the Savior. I just honestly haven't taken the time to really analyze where I'm at with Jesus. I can believe he lived and was a great man, but beyond that, I don't know. But I also don't know if I need to take the time to figure it out. If it comes to me one day that I do, then I will. But there's a lot of stuff I'm working through or I've had to work through from the religion I was raised in. And so I give myself grace to not have to figure all of it out. So that's one area I haven't figured out yet. I don't know. So I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned. Hey, planner, thank you. It's a patience. Oh, I mean, I took a break. I took a break. We was chilling took a nap, watched some gameplay, had some steak for lunch. We washed clothes. We pacing ourselves. We pacing ourselves. Oh, thank you, Oasis. Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad I made the video to kind of put that information out there. But over time, I just was like, I don't know if me now would have made the video. So I was like, but once again, there are videos I made that I like, and I think the message is amazing that I unlisted because I just need less videos. So, what I mean? There's some videos that I'm like, man, I really like this video. But it's just, when it comes to growth, yeah, it's better not to have for me in my channel. I just can't have every video public. Alvin, no, I love nature, but I'm not really the islands that everybody else loves don't really appeal to me. Like I'm sure I'll go to Hawaii one day just to go because Hawaii, but I would much rather go back to Alaska than go to Hawaii. So I think I'm more of like a mountains nature person than like the beach. Even though I enjoy the beach, but yeah, I've never really had the desire to like to go to the Caribbean. I probably won't. I mean, there's no shade to it. It's just not a lot of places I go. Other people wouldn't want to go. You know, I go to Portland 3, 4 times a year. People are like, ugh, you know, so like, yeah, I just don't have the desire to go to those places. But I'm sure I'll go to Hawaii eventually. Coffee, glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, social media can be amazing, but then also sometimes it can be too much. I don't have Facebook. I'm never on my Twitter. One of these days I'll probably go in there and delete it just to like I forget I have a Twitter. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get it. Like reason I'm not on TikTok, the energy's off. So like I know it messes with me every time I get on there. So yeah, I can totally get your mental health improving once you get off social media. Yeah. Yeah, wish they did have love promoting ads. Speaking of advertisements, all the reactors are reacting to Chernobyl now. Somehow I made the reaction list. And I was like, I need to watch. Come to find out, I'd already watched it. But I was like, I'm going to watch Chernobyl, because then I can watch the reaction videos. Like I said, come to find out, I already watched it. But I went on Amazon and I've started watching it. How about Sophie Cunningham popped up in an ad? In one of the ads right before it, it was Sophie Cunningham. Now, the OGs know Sophie Cunningham is like the first WNBA player that I really fell in love with. And I've been saying for years, she had all the attributes of a star, and she's just now blossoming into the star I knew she could be. But to like see her to go for so long, she was in obscurity. Nobody knew her. I talk about her and people would have to Google her and they'd be like, oh, she's cute. Or like she can shoot threes. But now like to see her in like an ad on Amazon, like, bro, I was like, I'm telling you, like my girl has arrived. I told y'all. And she ain't even where she's gonna be. I'm telling y'all. Sophie Cunningham is her. She's gonna be a household name. So I'm telling y'all. But yeah, to see her, I mean, it was some kind of debt repayment loan thing, which, hey, get your coin, sis. But I was just like I didn't even realize it was her because like I don't pay the ads no attention. I was just like, and I'm like, wait a second, that's Sophie. I'm telling you, that made my day. And then I was already seen Chernobyl, but it was worth it just to see the ad. Like I was so happy. You got to be happy for the people you rock with. You know what I mean? Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling a lot tonight. Okay, I apologize. Actually, I don't. I love rambling. Nope. Had to do it. Long time coming. Okay. Hey, 9549. Congrats on 306 days sober and buying the new Honda Prelude. Okay. Marcus, they got Prelude. They got Hondas in Germany. I'm just, why wouldn't they? I don't know. I just mess with you. Lene, you feel the same way? Yeah. When you come from a certain religious background and it may not be where you are now, there's a lot you have to go back and work through and figure out. Because like I was talking about this morning about like the thought of like having belief slots. Like there's a slot in our brain for like religious belief. And when we were younger, someone else slid a microchip in there. You know what I mean? Like if you think about it like an android's brain, and there's like a slot like for your religious belief. Someone else put a micro disc in there when we were younger and was like, this is the right religion. Typically the religion they were. And like, if you never question it, you just believe everybody else around me was this religion. So I guess it's the right religion. And you can go through your whole life believing that, which is fine. But if you somehow start to question it, it's still in your brain as like the right belief. So like, you got to get to the point where you can totally pull that microchip out and either it be blank or you put something else in there that you want in there. But like, that's the hard part. Like, A, getting to the point where you question it, and B, like getting it all the way out. Like it's stuck, it's jammed in there. You got to work that thing out, And so like, it can be hard to really work through because you believe it. So like, you got to go like code line by line, piece of code by piece of code. Like, what do I believe about this? What do I believe about this? What about this? Oh, that's not. It could be exhausting. So like, that's why I say like, I give myself grace to like some stuff. I'm like, I ain't got there yet. We ain't got to that piece of code yet. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's interesting. You know, this growth thing, this life change thing. What up, Tynical? Hey, that's awesome. Oasis came to Jesus on your own later in life. That's awesome. And I feel like when we do come to something on our own or accept a belief as true on our own, then it really means more because you know why you believe it, you know? And you can explain it. But excuse me, beliefs that just other people gave us, you can't even really explain it. You can parrot back what people told you. Oh, because of the people definitely do that with religion, but they do that with everything. They do it with politics, probably even more. Political people are the most parroting people out there. I said it. We talking tonight. We're being real. They just parrot back whatever they saw on the news or their favorite politician said. They don't know. You know what I mean? So it's like I think the way you know if you really believe something is you can explain why you believe it in like clear logical terms, not just regurgitating what someone else told you and not knowing what it means, you know? Simply me journey. How's it going? How's it going? Would I go to the Appalachian Mountains? Sure. I low-key think I've been there before. Are they in North Carolina? I think when I was younger, I went to the Appalachian Mountains. I think so. B Harris, what up, what up, what up? Belinda, what up? ATL in the building. Good to see you too. Thank you. I don't know, Bobby. You said, would you consider throwing some of the older seasonal work videos or whatever on your other channel? I'll think about it. I don't know if I will. Just because that could get complicated. I'm really trying to, and honestly, here soon, I probably will go to my other channels and take all the videos down, because I'm really trying to make sure any content that's me is on this channel. I think in this day and age, it's important for people to know like this is really you. So I'm probably going to go through. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm probably going to go through my other channels and take all the videos down. So if it's a Timothy Ward video and it's not on this channel, people will know that is not me, you know, because I think the day will come when celebrities, influencers, anybody with a channel may have to deal with that. So I probably won't put any videos on another channel just because like I want them all to be here. If this was 5 years ago, sure. But these days, I don't know. I think, yeah. T. Ellie, what's up? Sorry, Mike. Just read your comment too. Hey, love you too, Christopher. No, I don't take ground anymore. No. I feel like you've asked this question before. Hey, Williams, have you asked that before? Pretty sure you have, or someone did, maybe. No, okay, we're not gonna bash on China. Okay. Swank, what up? Swanky pants, I love it. Quitting the 9 to 5 to go back to bartending and travel next month. Yes, let's go. Let's go. Probably going to end up making more money, having more fun. Let's go. With a name like Swanky Pants, I feel like you're like a vibrant bartender. I feel like you do very well as a bartender. With a name like Swanky Pants, I don't see you being a boring bartender. So have fun. Congratulations. Keep us updated on your travels. Yeah. Patrick, if you came up in Mormonville, I would imagine there's a lot. Yeah. Provo. Yeah, there's probably a lot of Mormons. Yeah. Alvin, I don't have any preference as far as religion. Like I don't personally, I just don't rock with organized religion. You know, so if I'm being honest, like none of them really make sense to me. I don't understand. Like For me, this is just for me. I know some people who are very religious, and their religion is the reason they're the great people they are. So I'm not downing any religion. I'm not going to say anything negative about any set religion. To me, I just don't understand this idea of like my relationship with the divine having to go through a building and other people. Like it happened to me when I was younger, and it will never happen again. A group of men will not sit around and tell me that like I've messed up my relationship with God. Who are you? You know what I mean? And if it ever did happen again, it would be a group of people I chose. I don't see that happening. Never again will a group of men who I did not choose sit around and tell me that they know better than me what's going on with my relationship with the divine. Nope, nope, nope. I was young back in the day. I fell for it. No more. So like my relationship with God, the divine, is stronger now than it's ever been. And that's just for me what works best. Is like if I got something to say, I say it. I send it directly upstairs. I don't have to go through nobody. I don't need nobody's permission. I don't have to say it a certain way. I don't need anybody else's rules. I can read whatever holy book I want to read. That's just me. I don't got to sit at a certain building for a certain amount of time, or I'm a sinner. Like I said, I don't down anybody who does any of that. It just don't make sense to me. You know. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and bash anybody's religion. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm done. I'm just in a mood today. I'm only blocking people that have needed to be blocked for a while, and I was being nice and not blocking them. I'm blocking today. I'm not doing it. I'm blocking people who I've been going next time, and I've been being nice to. We're not doing it no more. We're not doing it no more. Yeah, and I'm with you, man. I think I know there are some very religious people who understand how religion can be used. You know, if you see the puppets, you know what I mean? If you see the strings in the hands making the puppets dance, and you still enjoy the puppet show, okay, you know what I mean? But if you actually think the puppets are dancing on their own, it's all, you know what I mean? It's a totally different show. If you think the puppets are actually dancing on their own, then if you understand it's a puppeteer, it's a totally different show. Still enjoyable if you're into that, but it's a totally different show. I think I'm thinking of puppets because I've been watching reactions to The Sound of Music, and I love that. Dun, 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 odele, 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 dun, 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 dun. We used to watch The Sound of Music every Friday when I was in kindergarten. I don't remember much about my childhood. I remember at my elementary school, every Friday we went to like all the kindergarten classes went to one of, I think there was like 4 kindergarten classes. So like one week they would come to our room. The other 3 weeks we'd go to one of the other rooms. And we always watched The Sound of Music every Friday. And we could not wait. We'd seen it 100, like literally every Friday we watched the same movie, which is actually genius. Now I'm a little older kid. So like back then, like there wasn't a TV in every classroom. Somebody had to go down to the AV room and wheel that big heavy TV with the VCR down the hallway, put it in a room. That's why we all had to go to one classroom. There wasn't 4 TVs for kindergarten. There might have been 5 TVs for the whole school, for the whole K through 4, probably, or whatever. I don't know. But there weren't a ton of TVs. You had to rent it out. And there wasn't a ton of, VHS. So every Friday we watched Sound of Music. And so I've recently rediscovered it, and like it just warms me. It's a heartwarming movie. If you don't get to the end part, once the Nazis show up, it gets different. But once the Nazis show up, it's still a great movie, but the tone changes. But just in the beginning, before they show, man, it's a vibe, bro. Like Sound of Music is a vibe. If you haven't watched Sound of Music, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. How did we start talking about Sound of Music? Oh, puppet. Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, stay on track, Tim. Where we at? Okay. Hey, shout out to your parents, TLE, for letting y'all decide. That's definitely a blessing. That's definitely a blessing. And the fact that y'all went to various churches, I think that's cool too. Like, let your kids see, do your research. Everything else we research. If you're gonna buy a car, hopefully you do your research. Just because Ford says they got a better truck, don't mean it is. We gonna go to Chevy dealership, Mazda, all this. But it just seems like a lot of times with religion, people pick the first one that people told them was the right one. You did more research for your car. We're talking about your relationship with God, that which is. You did no research. You just started showing up, and we do more research for restaurants. You do more research to get a good gumbo than you do for. You all on TikTok looking up restaurants if you about to go on vacation. I got to find the best whatever when I go to Seattle. 2 weeks of research. You just been going to the same church since you was 12 because they told you to. Like, I don't know. Okay. I feel like I'm bashing. I'm not. Hey, Bobby, go for it. Go for it. I will say this though. If you do, this is my prediction. I like to make predictions. Put on my Nostradamus hat. If you do seasonal work for 4 years, I'm predicting you won't want to return to your hometown. You might, but that would be my prediction. 4 years of seasonal work, you'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna go visit, but why would I go live there? Just, that's my prediction. I could be wrong. Jex, thank you. Said you're send me your inspiration. Your videos have helped me trust my intuition and view life as an adventure. Keep up the great work. Respect. Hey, we definitely going to. And I love that. Yeah. What a quote I really love. Life is a daring adventure and nothing at all. Like, bro, we all know we only got about 90 of them. If we're blessed to live that long, like, why will we not get out there and adventure? Why will we not make life exciting, enjoyable? Like, what are we scared of? We all die anyway. It's not like, oh, you followed societal's rules and and you followed the status quo. You always thought within the box. You get extra 10 years. Which honestly, if that were true, you probably wouldn't want the extra 10 years because you'd be so miserable by then. But yeah, I'm like, bro, like, it's not like you get a prize for doing what everybody else does. If what everybody else is doing ain't working for you, why are we doing it? Take a few risks, live your life. Let's go. Okay. Appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Thank you, Jex. Lee checking in from Harmon's grocery store. Lee, you be in the most interesting stores, but you're not buying nothing. Lee, I'm messing with you. Always good to see you. Love you, brother. Love you. Good to see you. Honor the laws of nature. Exactly. And I respect that, Patrick. And I say the same thing. Like, I learned a lot from the religion I grew up in. So if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change it because I learned a lot from it. But you can get to a point where you're like, yeah, I don't think it's for me. But you can respect the good that came from it. It's kind of like being in a relationship that might have ended. And you might like, yeah, like me and her or me and him aren't meant to be together forever. But you remember the good times and you respect, what that person did for you and what they meant to you. Doesn't mean you're going to stay with them forever, but it's just like, while it was a thing, I appreciate the good that came with it or from it, Ninth, what up? Yes, I am. I always wonder why people lie about Santa. One of the earliest memories we give our kids is a lie. Never understood it. No disrespect to anyone who did it, but never understood lying to our kids for something that pointless. The kids don't care where the presents come from. If you told them from day one, mom and daddy buying these toys, they would be just as happy. They would not be like, man, I like this new bike, but I'd like it a lot better if a weird fat guy came down the chimney and bought it to me. Like, what are we talking about? Like, like lying for no reason. Well, everybody else lied. See, I'll tell you, once you start seeing the world a certain way, you become very controversial. Just because stuff that other people just go along with, you like, bro, like, stuff that other people don't see anything wrong with. You're just like, and do what you do with your kids, But I never understood it. I'm like, the kids don't care. Now if the kids walk in on you having sex and you lie about that because they're 7, I get that lie. Mommy and daddy's wrestling. I get that. They don't, that's whatever. I'm not condoning lying, but I get that one. But to just totally make up a lie about who brings the kids the presents and they don't care. I don't know. I think about these things. Lonely Girl TV, what up, what up? Good to see you. We here. It ain't after hours, Tim, yet. We trying to, maybe one day. T Black, good to see you. Yeah, Lonely Girl, I caught a snippet of you getting mad at your followers for I think there weren't enough of them in the stream, or they weren't doing something you liked. I caught a snippet of it once. You're like, I can't believe. I was like, well, how is she going in on them? Hey, do what you do. They love you. So keep doing what you do. Hey, see you later, Matt. Hope you get a good night's sleep. Doopy, what up? Good to see you again. I do not believe if you break a mirror, it's bad luck. No. I don't believe a black cat. I don't believe in bad luck. Things happen. No. Broke mirrors, broke all kind of mirrors. I'm good. Thank you, Patrick. Crystal, Coolworks. I used here, I'll put it in the chat. Always I forget. They actually reached out to me on Instagram and I forgot to write back. I'm glad you said something. It did. Why is it doing this with my Coolwork? It did this earlier. I copied Coolworks and it didn't copy the whole. Hold on. I'm glad you said something because they reached out to me and I read that's why I did that. I read the message and I was going to respond later and I didn't. So it looks like I left them on red. So I got to respond. But yeah, coolworks.com, Crystal. Lonely Girl, I think most people spend more the more they make. I do. Sadly. Now, I think there are a lot of people who are good with their money, and when they make more, they put it aside. But I think the average person, the more they make, the more they spend, which is why some people, even as they do better financially, don't do any better. Don't do better financially, right? People get raises, promotions, and then they just let lifestyle creep come in and just eat that up. So when they were an entry-level worker, they were broken in debt, and then as they progress through the company, they're still on paper broken in debt, even though it may seem like they have more stuff that they're paying on and in debt on. Because just the more they make, the more they buy, the more they spend. I've never I understand if you up spending a little more, but you don't have to spend it just because you make it. That's the way I look at it. I like to save it. I like to invest. I get joy out of investing. I get joy out of saving. So, spending is gone. You know what I mean? So but I think a lot of people, they just get money. The more money they get, the more, if you have bad money habits, they don't magically get better because you make more money. They probably get worse, So I think that's why. Oh, we're almost at 100 likes. Thank y'all. 2 more to go. I think that's why we need to teach good money habits in school. Because for a lot of people, the problem isn't that they don't have any money, it's that they have bad money habits. This is why people win the lottery and a year later they're broke, bad money habits, bad money handling, don't understand money. That's the problem, not the amount of money they're making or not making, We're at 102 likes. Thank y'all. That was quick. Thank you. I cannot sing, no. Bobby said, "What are some things I should learn to do before starting season work lifestyle?" Honestly, Bobby, you'll notice that I really don't talk a lot about that type of stuff. And it's just because of the type of person I am. I'm big on like, if it's not something that like, oh, you need to know this, you'll figure it out. Like, I can't really think of anything like you have to know. I think most of the stuff like you'll learn as you go. Now there are other content creators that's their jam. Hey, let me tell you everything you need to know before. That's just not my jam. Like, I'm a show up and figure it out type of person. So like, I don't. I mean, now if you ask a specific question, I'll answer it. But I really don't have a ton of advice or things like, oh, you need to. It's not that. It's really not that serious. I don't think. you'll, you'll figure this stuff out. Yeah, like I said, there's nothing like life threatening that you need to know. Pack bear spray if you're going to be in the woods. I don't know. Oh, we got some love in the chat. Doopy, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you so much. Says Super Chat Train, here we go. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate you being the steam engine at the head of the Super Chat Train. Seems like it's working. Lonely Girl TV came right behind you. Choo choo. Thank you. Super Chat Squad. It's an investment fund. I appreciate that. Thank you, Lonely Girl TV. And it's good to see that, with your money being up, you're definitely been doing at least one good thing with it, and that's giving me some of it. I'm joking. I'm messing with you. You strike me as the type that's probably decent with money. I don't know why I get the idea that like, I don't know. I just get that idea that you probably got your little stash somewhere. I can see that. I know you love the expensive things you love, but I can see you being okay with your money. I just get that vibe. But thank you. Doobie Lonely Girl TV, thank you so much. I appreciate the love, appreciate that support, that abundance. Thank you. Super Chat Squad, let's go. Devon, how you doing? Oh, that Popeyes, Bobby got your stomach. I tell you, man, they don't make fast food like they used to. They don't make fast food like they used to. What up, Sim? Facts. Yeah, and I'm kind of like with you on that, Lonely Girl. I'm reading your previous comment. I think most of us don't have an extreme desire innately to buy a ton of material things. I think that's a manufactured desire. I think we just watch so much TV and so much advertising and social media now that we have the manufactured desire to buy. That's why people buy a ton of stuff and never use it. Like, if you have a desire, if you genuinely want to buy something, you're going to do something with it. If you genuinely like, man, that coat is hot. When you buy that coat, you wearing that coat every day. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, I want that. Or like, if you genuinely want a car, like, man, I like that car. You're gonna drive that car all the time because you like it. If there's a whatever gadget or whatever that you're really into, when you buy it, you're going to use it because that's why you wanted it. But so much of stuff that like people spend their money on, they don't use it. They don't wear it. They don't even know where it's at no more because they didn't really want it. They wanted it because they thought like, oh, this will make other people think I'm successful. They wanted it for reasons other than they genuinely wanted it. And so like when you don't really want something and you think you do, or you think that like the thing you buy is going to fill a certain void for you or scratch a certain itch, when it doesn't, then you buy more. Whereas if you buy things that genuinely fill a void, the void is filled. You don't have to buy anymore. But that's a good barometer for whether you really want something. Is like, when I bought it, did I have to keep buying? If I really like it, I really want it, when I buy it, I'm good. If it filled that hole's filled. Like, I don't have to buy 15 more, if it's not something that you need to buy, multiples of. So yeah, but I think people are buying because they think they want them, but they genuinely don't. Like I always say, if it doesn't mean anything, it doesn't mean anything. And it doesn't matter how much you paid for it. A high price tag doesn't make it mean something to you. That's what I think is crazy. Like people spend all this money on luxury goods. Like that doesn't make it mean anything to you. People buy luxury stuff and sits in the closet, you know? Oh, Donnie having a little cup of tea before bed. Peak life. Let's go. Alvin, I have not done a workout in the gym since probably 2010. Like really, like, and I currently where I'm at, I don't have any plans to work out in future. So, I mean, for me, I would just work out for like looks. So until I get to that place where like I'm really care that much, I'm fit. I'll be all over the place at work. I walk like I'm fit, but I just currently don't have the desire to go to a gym and work out. So yeah, TL, that's that's a vibe when you're like trying to buy something and can't think of nothing. When you're like, man, I got this, got my bonus. Oh, we gonna go to the mall. And then you just like, are you sitting on Amazon? That's when I'm like, well, I guess I'll just invest it. Because that's fun research. Like figure out what. I was like, okay, I got $500. I'm gonna invest. Then I get to figure out what to spend it on investment wise. That's way more fun for me than just like buying a shirt. You know. Hey, Patrick, I agree. That debt-free lifestyle or only having debt that like you need to have for whatever reason. So much more freedom. So much more freedom. When you can and it's like so much less stress because if something did happen with your income, all you have to do is pay the current bills. You don't like, oh, I have to pay the bills and all this debt. You know what I mean? It's just like, no, I just have to be able to eat and have a roof over my head. If I can figure that out, I'm good, as opposed to like, oh, I got to eat, have a roof over my head. And then I got these payment and this payment and this payment. And this, that can get stressful. Bro, I got two times in a day. Two guys in a day. Wait a second. we here. Donnie, I don't think bad things always happen when we're trying to do something big in life. I do think that like at regular intervals in life, things happen, right? Um, and I think sometimes it coincides with what we're trying to do. So I think something that would have happened anyway, if I'm trying to do something big and then it happens, it seems like it happened because I was trying to do something big. And I used to believe that. These days I think it's more of like it's just the natural happening that probably would have happened anyway eventually. And it just seems like, oh man, something always happens, but something always happens. You know what I mean? Um, and that's kind of how I cope with it. Like, no one ever guaranteed that me chasing my dreams was going to be easy or it was going to be non-problematic. And it does annoy me. I get mad. It's frustrating, but I'm trying to learn that like I can be upset and I can be frustrated and annoyed and it's fine, but I just keep going. Take all the time you want, Tim, to be aggravated. And then we're going to get back to doing what we're doing, which usually shortens the time I'm aggravated. Because I'm like, oh, if I'm giving myself the freedom to be aggravated all week about this, and then we're going to get back to doing what we're trying to do, why not just get back to doing what we're trying to do right now? Like what that, so once I changed that my mindset before used to be that like, oh, if you were going to do something big, you're going to be tested. I don't know if I totally believe in the tested theory anymore because I'm like, who's testing me? I do think you have to earn certain things in life. Some things I don't think you earn, you just get blessed. I do think some blessings, come with you have to earn them. And maybe that's what some of the challenges are. But I think a lot of times it's just, you know, that would have happened anyway. You know, I mean, think about all the times we're not trying to do something major in life and stuff happens, you know? So like I said, I try to focus on what I'm doing. It's like, okay, I don't like this monkey wrench that's been thrown in my plans and it's annoying, but we're still going to keep doing what we're doing. So do it annoyed. So I tell myself, okay, you're pissed off, Tim. Do it pissed off. Okay. I got nothing I talk to myself like this. I'm like, I got nothing for you, Tim. We're still doing it. So if you want to sit here and cry, you can cry. It's fine. Sometimes it's good to cry, but like we're still doing it. So, and usually I'm like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, whatever. Hope that was a useful answer. Bobby, no. My thing with the winter clothes is you're going to spend a lot of money mailing clothes to your mail forwarding service, and they're going to charge you to hold them. You're probably going to break even or come out better if you just buy winter clothes when you need them. Because like, how do you know like what you're going to need? Yeah. So like, yeah, for me, when summer rolls around, if I'm not in one place and I can't just leave them in a closet until winter, I just get rid of them. And then when winter rolls back around, I just buy them again. You know, I got my money's worth out of them last winter. You know, if I buy some winter clothes, like I just bought a coat. I just bought a coat the other day. I was wearing this little bitty gray hoodie, and I was fine because I had layers on, but I was getting sick a lot. So I'm like, well, maybe I need a coat. And then a very attractive woman who works at the gas station by my job was like, "You walk to work with that skimpy thing, with that thin little jacket on?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I keep thinking about buying a jacket. I never do. Why did I go home and start looking at jackets that day? And I bought one. But if I'm not somewhere, it's very helpful to have a woman's opinion in your life if you're a single man, is what I'm saying. But if I'm not somewhere where I can keep that coat, I'll just donate it or throw it away come spring. And next winter, I'll just buy a new one. I mean, it's like a $50 coat. I'm gonna get my money's worth the first really, really negative cold day. You know what I mean? So like that's the way I do with clothes. Because yeah, if you try to hang on to clothes and send them somewhere, it gets very complicated and it's costly. It's much easier to just buy the clothes you need when you need them, and it gives you something to buy. And it's pretty cool to like, you know, if you donate a code or you know the stuff you don't need, if you give it to some, like it's cool. So like it's my opinion, it's much better to just buy it when you need it, and when you don't need it, just pass it on. You know. Good question. Good question. Donnie, and that can definitely be very frustrating. Like if you're trying to switch it up and things keep happening, um, it's kind of hard to really go into like without knowing the details of what's going on. It's really hard to give any like specific advice. I will say this: I'm a firm believer that if it's meant for something to happen at a certain time, it will happen. So times when I've been trying to do something and it just would not work out, that's when I start to be like, maybe this isn't the time. Like if it just won't work, I'm like, okay, fall back because this might be a gift from God because this might not be the time. So something's telling me if it's just always no, then it's probably no. You know what I mean? Even if I'm like, no, 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 no. I think if it's always no, I'm like, okay, I think somebody who knows a little more than me is saying no. So I just kind of sometimes like, okay, let me fall back, figure out another plan, or let me wait. And then I found that like typically when I do that, if it's meant for me to do it, later it just works. Just no problem. Oh, I'm gonna do this, and it just all falls in place. Um, but yeah, when I'm trying to figure it out and it's not working, it probably isn't meant to work at this moment or in that manner. Um, and it, like I said, it might be a blessing that where something's getting in our way, you know. And I think you're right, lonely girl. That feeling of having a decent amount of money saved or invest, and just having your emergency fund and having money invested, if it's in good investments, it's a good feeling that you work for that, as opposed to working just as hard and down the line having nothing to show for it, you know. Siam, I've been able to stay consistent on YouTube because I love making videos and doing live streams. I genuinely love it. So like, I genuinely love it. And the times that, I mean, of course, there's like, there was a time, I'll be honest, when if I got in a mood and I didn't really want, things happen. And, certain times a year I've noticed I don't love it as much, or sometimes I just don't have ideas and I don't love it as much. I used to try to force myself to still do it because I thought I have to stay consistent. I don't do that anymore. If I don't want to make videos, I don't make videos. You know, I'll be back. And so that has really helped me. And I think it's actually helped the channel to grow because like I'm not phoning it in like I used to a lot. People can tell. Yeah, I can tell when I watch people and they're making a video because they felt they had to make a video, or if they genuinely have something to say, so, or they're enjoying talking. So, yeah, I've been able to stay consistent because I just like making YouTube videos, So like I don't really have. That's why my advice is pick something that you and I always say, like, when people say, what should my YouTube channel be about? I'm like, what's something you talk about with your friends so much they tired of hearing you talk about it? That's the type of stuff I think makes a good topic for a YouTube channel because you already talking about it anyway, right? And you love talking about it anyway. So like, why not talk about it to perfect strangers? It definitely helps if you enjoy what you talk about on YouTube to stay consistent. Worked at a house today, lonely girl. Okay. Oh, I thought you always. Well, no, you don't always work at the house. You're right. You're right. Swank said, when I'm traveling, spending time with friends, less likely to buy dumb stuff. Exactly. Exactly. What up, Gio? Simple living, carefully living. Let's go. You can't visit Montana with you can't leave the pets at home for a week, lonely girl. Sam's doing good. He's okay. Actually, I need to call him. I might call him tomorrow, maybe. It's been like a week or so. Yeah, I want to call him. But yeah, he's okay. He's good. Thanks for asking. See, now what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, um, is an example of someone thinking that if I block them, they can just create a new channel and come back. I've been doing this a long time, people. I know it's you, especially especially when you come back doing the exact same behavior. I know it's you. You got to make me work harder than that. I'm gonna give you the game. When you make a new channel to come back, start off light. Actually talk about what we're talking about. Work your way in the community, and then you come with the other stuff. But if you just create a new name, but you come back talking about the same exact stuff, I'm gonna know it's you. I've been doing this a long time. Make me work for it. Make me have to put my Sherlock hat on and be like, is that so-and-so? You can't just come back immediately with the respectfully. You can do what you want, but like, come on, bro. I don't like blocking people. But like if you're just constantly in the chat saying stuff that has nothing to do with the chat, well then it kind of respectfully has no point in being in the chat. Bobby, if it was a job you really wanted to work at, yeah, I'd go to their website. You know, Even if they're not hiring now, they might be next week. Yeah, I just go to the website and apply. Always, if you want it, go for it, you know? Yeah, Goblin had to go. I've always wanted like one of these gaming chairs ever since I've seen everybody else has one. One of the few things that like everybody has one, so I was like, I need to have one. So I finally got one. VG, awesome, awesome. Glad you're appreciating the perspective. Good to see you. Yes, yes, Lonely Girl. There have been time, especially when I'm not working. Oh, I get very obsessed with my YouTube earnings. When that's how I eat, I get very obsessed with it. Or have in the past, and I've had to learn to not get so wrapped up in it. You know, the times in the past I was watching. I mean, if I have a video that's doing well, I'll still view watch. I'll get off work and I'll be like, how many views? Like when I got a video that's running, oh, best feeling in the world. When I got a video that's doing, tens of thousands of views a day, oh, I'm view watching every few hours. Get off work, you know. But other than that, I've kind of learned to, like, I don't even check my earnings actually through the month. I mean, you can get a sense of whether you're doing well or average or less than by views, but I don't even check my earnings anymore. Because I just learned it's easier to just, you know, look at views maybe, you can judge by comments too how well a video might be doing, but like, yeah, it's way too easy to get, because it's the high and the lows. You probably know this. It's the high, like when you're up is the best feeling, and then but when you go up, eventually you start going down. That's the worst feeling. So like, I don't like that. But I mean, that even happens when you post a video, it doesn't do well, and it's just like, oh, what So like, I've kind of learned to try to detach from that, and like, it's gonna do what it's gonna do. I know it's up and down. My job is to just put out good content, and in the space I'm in, there's more to it, because the goal is to like put out useful content. So I'm like, Tim, if you put out a video and it's useful for people, yes, you want it to do well, and yes, you'd like to make some money off of it. But if even if it does okay, but people watch it and they get something from it, you've still, in the greater scheme of things, done your job. So it's not always about views. That's why I like in the comments when someone's like, "Oh man, it's an amazing video. Thank you. I needed this." I'm like, okay, even if this video nobody else watches it, I've done my job. So that is helpful. But yeah, it's easy to get obsessed with stats and views and earnings, and it can get exhausting, especially on the downward. It can be stressful, but it's still a good life. Oh yeah, yeah, and I think what it takes. You said I'm always in panic mode because I feel like I'll lose audience and earnings. It takes one time or a couple times you just not caring. Even like, because in the beginning when I first started doing that, it was hard. When I first started saying like, I'm just gonna take a break. I don't care. I got nothing. I'm gonna take a break until I got something. It wasn't easy. Like I was stressing. But then like, I took a month off and like it was fine. And then like sometimes the algorithm just magically blesses you, and you'll have a video start doing well out of nowhere. So like, I've learned over the years that like, yeah, it's an up and down sport. So like, you know, some days you're just knocking it out the park and going great, and other times nothing's working. But you kind of, it all equals out, over time. So but it takes taking a couple breaks to realize like, oh, I can take a break. Bobby, I don't like to mention a certain dollar amount you should start with or that you should have, because we all spend money differently. So like, a dollar amount that might work for someone else might not work for someone else. Not to mention, if you say, oh, you need this much before you start, that'll keep a lot of people from starting, because they're like, oh, I don't have 2 grand saved up, I can't start. My thing is just go for it, and save as much money as you can or feels right to you. Like, I don't. Yeah, when we start mentioning certain dollar amounts, I think it does more harm than good. So like, the people who are going to save are going to save. giving them a dollar amount doesn't matter. You know, I think you're more likely to stop people from getting into seasonal work, or have them be like, oh man, I haven't saved enough, to for the break. I think it does more harm than good when you mention dollar amounts. So yeah, I just, whatever money you got to go with, and whatever money you save, we just gotta make it work. Countless, we back twice in one day. We here. Good to see you again. How to let go of that propaganda lifestyle? I think you're already, Ms. Mika. I think it starts with realizing that it's a propaganda lifestyle. You know, once again, once you see the puppeteers, you can't watch the puppet show the same. No, you mean like once you know the truth, it may take time to like work through it, but like you know what I mean. Once you know that, like, bro, like, like you said, you bought into the system hardcore and you got crazy student loans or whatever, possibly. That's gonna bother you. You know what I mean? It's like, man, if I hadn't believed, like once it's in there and you see it, even if you still, we still have that same brainwashing and programming we had before, it starts to get less and less over time. Because once you see it, you just start seeing, hey, what you've already seen bothers you. They got me. And then you just start seeing it more and more. And I think the more we see it, the more our actions start to change. Because you're like, they're not getting me no more. And so you'll find yourself certain purchases, other stuff that before you would just, even though you might still like it, in one area, you go to do some of this propaganda lifestyle stuff, and you'll find yourself being like, they not, you know what I mean? Because you know now. And when we know, I think it slowly starts to affect our actions, unless we're just one of those people who totally just like knows but doesn't care. But I don't think you would be asking a question like that if you were that type of person. So I think it's just, sometimes it just takes time. We can't snap our finger and redo the programming and the brainwashing. Like, just like it took time to get us programmed to where we're at, it takes time to like deprogram ourselves. Not as much time though. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take as much time to deprogram. So, but I do think it does take some time. But yeah, I think once you get on that path of understanding and seeing how some things work, you just naturally start to behave differently over time, because you're not falling for it no more. They no, maybe here, maybe there, a little bit, but I think it just takes time. Like, we're good, and like all of us are good at like wanting immediate change. Like, I should be, but it's like, no, like you got 20, 30, 40 years of thinking a certain way. Even though you're starting to see the holes in that thinking, it's still in there. And so like, I think we have to go through the work and the time it takes to like totally get all that out of there. But even as we're, every line of code we delete causes us to act different. So I think it's just time, but you're on the right path. Real art, awesome, awesome, awesome. Glad you're calming down. Glad the content has helped you put things in proper perspective. That makes me very happy to hear you say that. So awesome, awesome. Would I ever have property in Thailand? I could, maybe. I don't know if I don't think Americans own property in Thailand? Can we? If we can, definitely. Or not, I'd have to find someone whose name to put it in. But yeah, I could see that. Like, I could see having property in somewhere, another country, an area I really liked, probably out in the country, where like land was a lot cheaper than in the States. Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. Lonely Girl TV. It's one of the highest highs, but if here's the thing, if you understand that there's the possibility that you're not going to be making money on that level from the jump, it's not as bad. It's bad when you are going up like this and you think it's going to keep doing that, or you think that like the new ceiling you hit is it. Because then when it starts to go down, you're like, whoa. But if you just realize like, oh, like I'm up this month, you know, and I might keep going up. Who knows? But I also understand that like it is the internet and like I'm not totally in control. So like there's a possibility it will start going down. If you're already planning for that, it's not as devastating. But when you know, like myself years ago, when I didn't know that, it was but you live, you learn, you'll learn. But blessed to have the good years, the good, I'm always blessed. But I've learned to really appreciate the good and the abundance in all manners that comes with the internet. And understand that some months aren't as abundant. So is it the highs and lows are the same with Lyft too? Yeah, I didn't think about that. Like I can imagine in gig work, there's some times where like you're doing really well, and then there's other times where like nothing's happening. Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just like, oh, a countless. I mean, ultimately, that's the like, if we can become a better person, that's like the ultimate goal. It helps to have the other stuff too, and I honestly think becoming a better person helps us to get to that better. If overall I'm a better person, then like I think that helps me to understand and fix the other areas of my life better too. So sometimes that's like step one. I think it's like, oh, like when we, man, I feel like I'm a better person. Now let me tackle this other stuff. James, when I'm on the road constantly, I usually do like beginning of last year. Um, I think I left in 2024. I left my seasonal job in the beginning of November, and I started my next job in like May of 2025. So I think I was spending like a month. That's kind of like I monthly. A lot of times, if you rent an Airbnb for a month, you get a discount. So I look for a lot of those. So yeah, I would go somewhere for like a month, 2 weeks to a month is usually how long I'll stay somewhere. But yeah, that's kind of. I think this time around I stayed in Denver a lot longer just because like Denver's the city. But typically, if I'm going to move around every 2 weeks to a month is about what I'll stay um, in a place, and I usually tend to stay in decent sized cities just for the public transportation. And it's a lot easier to figure out. Like when you don't have a car, you realize how important it is to have access to groceries and for me nature and stuff like that. So I tend to stay close to bigger cities just because like I know they got a bus. I know they got some type of public transportation. It's easy for me to get online and figure out how to get to the grocery store, things like that. But yeah, usually 2 weeks to a month. Army Marines going to Alaska with zero in the bank. Let's go. That's what we like to hear. I mean, we like to hear that you ain't worried about it, and you're gonna be okay. You know. Yeah, Bobby. That's why I call when I leave my seasonal job going back to the real world because they're just like the mindset of the average person who's gonna like go to a seasonal job is not tons of money, luxury, all this stuff. Because if they wanted that, they would stay at a regular job. Now you do run into like some wealthy people. I've ran into people who like their parents were like loaded, like wealthy, wealthy. A lot of the students who come from around the world on J1 visas, they're loaded, loaded. Like especially like the ones who come from China, they I'm talking one percenters loaded. But like they're just like kids on vacation. You know what I mean? So like there isn't a lot of that, you know, caring about like I mean, 'cause we all just had a seasonal job making whatever. So like nobody's really checking for that type stuff for the most part. Cause like if that was the life they wanted to, they wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? You're not going to go to Glacier National Park and work and share a room with somebody if you're, you know what I mean? Like if you really worried about that. So, yeah. Not to mention, I feel like in life, it ain't about what other people are looking for. It's about you and what you know what I mean? You may not, and I wish I had this attitude when I was younger, but I'm learning now that I'm middle aged that it's not about like what other what they're looking for. It's about who I am and what I'm bringing to the table. And you might not even realize this is what you're looking for, but you gonna see it, and it might not be what you're looking for, but this is what I'm bringing. You know what I mean? This is what I'm bringing. So either people will like it or they won't. And honestly, they might not even know they like it till they see me. Once again, I'm just starting to understand this. If I had known this when I was in my 20s, damn. But anyway, which yeah, yeah, I've had lots of fun at seasonal jobs, and y'all know me. I'm not fancy. I don't. Everybody knows I'm a minimalist. Most people think I'm broke, 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 broke. Like, and I've had tons of fun. So, where am I? Where am I in the comments? I don't have the desire to live in Thailand permanently, but if I ever did, I would. I wish I did. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time I go to Thailand, after about 3 weeks, I'm ready to come home. Nothing against Thailand. I just like America, but I wish I wanted to stay there. I just like being in the States. Journey, Glacier starts in 2.5 months. Sorry to hear you're struggling bad at home. You might be able to find something between now and Glacier. There's a lot of places. I mean, especially like in Alaska, there's a lot of places that start in like April. You know, I don't know. I would look. I would just look and see if there's something I could find to do. If being home is having that much of effect on your health, I would just look and see if there's something else. And definitely prayers for you. We gonna put you to the prayer list. We got a list tonight, which is good. But yeah, I would just look and see, if there's something you could just do until then, because you gotta get up out of there. If it's doing that to you. And I like there's times in the past when I went home and that exact same thing happened. Like it just wasn't the home hadn't changed and I had. So it wasn't giving me what I needed. In fact, it was pulling me back to the old me. And I was like, man, I got to get out of here, which is why I never go home now. And that's no disrespect to anybody there, but it's just different, like it just, I changed, I grew. Home didn't, it still had that same old energy. And I was just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I have been to Jackson Hole, Miss Priya. Yeah, Jackson Hole's a vibe. I would love to spend a whole summer in Jackson Hole. Um, the seasonal job I had in Jackson Hole didn't work out. Um, I couldn't talk about it for a while because they made me sign an NDA. This is the type of money you deal with in Jackson Hole, but it just didn't work out. So I didn't stay long. But I would love to go back to Jackson Hole and work. Yeah, for like a whole summer. Jackson Hole's a vibe. Yeah, Jackson Hole's a vibe. Yeah, seasonal work can be. I mean, seasonal work. Everything in life has its pros and cons. So there are definitely some things about seasonal work. I'm like, ugh, um, that I don't miss when I'm not doing it. But there's a lot of pros too. There's things I do miss when I'm not doing it. It's just cool to be around that many people and be able to spend so much time with them. I was talking about it this morning. It's like when you make a friend at a seasonal job, you see them constantly. Like it's amazing. Like as an adult, how much time do you really get to spend with people you like? Unless you work with somebody. But imagine working with that person, eating with that person, living in the same building as that person. Like anytime y'all want to hang out, y'all can. Like one of the things I love the most, like when I worked at like the Y or other places, you can do it too, but I did it more at the Y. You just come home from dinner and you just go to the like the lobby, right? The building I stayed in at the YMCA of the Rockies, it was like 3 stories. So there's like 3 lobbies, I think. Um, Are there four? No, it's like I think three lobbies. You just go out to the lobby and like there's TVs and one of them has a kitchen and like you can just plop down on the couch and talk to whoever walks by. I can't do that here. You know what I mean? So like or you, hey, where you doing? I'm gonna be in the lobby. I'm gonna be in the second floor lobby about 5 minutes. Boom. You text your friend. They show up. Somebody else walks in. Oh, what y'all doing? I don't know. Just watch. You sitting there watch movie. Like just hang out. Where else? I started seasonal work at 35. Where else could a 35-year-old man just go hang out in the lobby? And just hang out and meet people. Cuties walking by. Okay, see, I could have left that part out. But we all adults here. That's how you. Oh, I seen so and so earlier. Let me go see if she walks by the lobby. Let me. But yeah, that is one of the things I do miss about seasonal work. It's like if you wanted to hang out and be around people, you could, because there's always somebody, somewhere. It was like that in Alaska. We all ate dinner at the restaurant. So you just go over and like there was locals came in there, the people you work with was in there, new travelers come through, you just sit in the restaurant, talk to people. You finish dinner, you go for a hike in the woods, like we're gonna hike to the lake. Okay. It's 9 o'clock at night, doesn't matter. Sun doesn't go down till 11. There was always people around. Even an introvert like myself, I miss that, because a lot of times 6 nights out the week, I would stay in my room. But that one night, I'm like, man, I'm gonna go see what people are up to. There was always, somebody around, What made me take the break? The break from what collection? The break from what? We've talked about a couple different things. Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that journey. Yeah, there isn't as much snow. I might start looking at like spring jobs because some places are going to start opening for spring. Like there are some places I think that maybe March they might open up some places. I would start looking for like spring jobs, yeah. Because there might the March places might start opening up soon. And I definitely think they're hiring. Oh, totally lonely girl. I don't really tell them stories too much because like I don't kiss and tell, but I have had some very fun situationships. I've met some amazing women in seasonal work that, you know, we had some fun, so I can't. And there, I met a lot of women in seasonal work that like, if I was smarter, this is what I'll say. When I first started doing seasonal work, I don't know. I've always been slow on a lot of things, and so like I had a lot of opportunities, or some opportunities that I didn't fully take advantage of because I just was like, why would she be interested in me? Meanwhile, everybody's like, she feeling you, bro. I'm like, So I blew a lot of chances and opportunities in my early years in seasonal work. I really did. But even still, yeah, no. I always tell, like I said, I say it on here all the time. So just in case, any woman watching who's feeling the kid ever runs across me, sometimes you got to tell Tim. You can't insinuate because he not gonna get it. In hindsight, I'm like, oh, she was feeling the kid. But it was like the women who just came up and was kind of like, hey, what you doing? Let's hang out. Like if she tells me, I'm like, oh, let's go. But like, yeah, no. If you just kind of, I'm not big on picking up context clues and hints. But yeah, had a lot of fun seasonal work, man. I mean, yeah. Like to breathe. I can't. I don't expect everyone to resonate with what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter who you are and what you're talking about. It's not going to resonate with everybody. And once you learn that, then you can tell your stories with no problem. Because the people who get it, get it. The people who don't, don't. So, like, I mean, that's a given, respectfully. They're like, yeah, people aren't going to get it. Like, and they don't have to get it for me to tell it. You know what I mean? Like, don't go there. If you only talk when you think everybody's going to get it, you'll never say anything. And that's not really, good for a content creator. So, yeah. Start that would not be my year. Thank you for the prophecy, but I don't want to get married and I don't want kids, so that would not be my year. It's weird. I think sometimes people, and I know you're probably joking, but I think people think that I genuinely like I want kids or want to get married, or they think that would be a positive for me. And I know sometimes people are new to the channel. So that's why I'm always saying I don't want to get married and I don't want kids. So when people say, "Oh, it'll happen for you," I'm like, I don't want it to happen. Respectfully, So my year will be me living exactly like I'm living now. Though I have said, I was like, what? I do think in 2026 I might meet someone to hang out with. I do think that's going to happen. I don't know why. I just get that weird vibe. I'm like, I think I'm probably going to kick it with somebody this year. That's fine with me. Like, yeah, countless. And I'm not saying I don't like that trait about me. I wish I was more, I wasn't so slow. I wish I was more whatever, but I'm always like, you low-key have to tell Tim, just be like, what we doing? Then I'm like, oh, bet, what? Now there are some, like, if there's someone, there have been times where like literally this happened in a seasonal job. Literally the moment this woman walked in the door, I was like, yes. Like literally, and someone saw me. A friend of mine saw, because she knew like I'm very introverted. I don't really, and it was like this person's first day. It was literally their first day, and she was like, "I saw you go in the other room, put your stuff down, walk over to her, and start talking." I literally, as soon as she walked in the door, I was like, "Yes." And I went to the crew leader room. I put my papers down. I did what I had to do for work, and I immediately walked over and I was like, "Hey, I'm Tim. Nice to meet you. You new here?" Like, and a couple of days later, we was kicking it. Took her to dinner, whatever. It was a fun time. So on occasion, if I run across someone who's like just exactly what I'm looking for, and I just feel that energy, I'm there. Other than that, you damn near have to hit me with something. Or I'm just gonna be like, I don't know, maybe, no. But yeah, if it's that, I'm there. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I don't know about completely oblivious, Lene. I don't know if that seems a little. You're right. Oblivious. But yeah, if it's that, I got it. But other than that, yeah, you got to say something. Ivan, I doubt myself sometimes, but not the message. Nah. Sometimes you doubt, am I the right messenger? But I don't doubt the message, because like it's not what, like it's I want people to like live their best life, and now I will say that there have been times where I've changed my views kind of on certain aspects of the message, but like the message is, I know it comes from a genuine place. And like I genuinely make these videos because I'm like, if there's anything I could say that could give someone the motivation to do something to better their life, I'm gonna say it. And since that's the place where it comes from, even if I'm wrong about something, it came from a good place. You know what I mean? So it's like a year later, I might be like, oh, by the way, I've changed my views on that. It's not like you're hurting anyone. Maybe that message just don't motivate nobody. You know what I mean? So like, I doubt myself. I doubt the messenger at times, but I don't doubt the message, because I firmly believe it's truth. And we're not trying to scam anybody. I don't have anything for sale. You know what I mean? So like, it's just like, hey, What can we do to better our lives and live free? Let's talk about it. This is the way I see it. Even if I am wrong, I'm trying, you know, you know what I mean? So yeah. Prior to becoming a nomadic traveler, was chasing your dream rough or simple? I think there'll always be, no matter how you're living, there's going to be some challenge to chasing your dreams. Um, I just, before I became a nomadic traveler, I don't think I was really going after any dreams though. I think I was just kind of living the standard life that I thought I was supposed to live, you know? Exactly, TLE. You know, if you just speak what you believe to be truth and you speak your truth, and that's why you hear me constantly say, in my opinion, in my life. Like, what can anybody say? Because even if it doesn't work for them, I'm like, hey, I'm just telling you what worked for me. Like, you know, so I don't really have a type in woman, Ivan, that I could describe. It's more of an energy, you know. I mean, I've always said I'm a steadier of beauty. So I be seeing, I'll look at a woman and be like, dang, like, and people are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, y'all just don't see it. Y'all don't look deep enough. But like, I don't have a certain type. I know it when I see it, if it's okay, if it's go time. But I firmly believe that, you know, women are right up there with sunsets and mountain ranges is just like the most beautiful creation. So I'm always studying beauty, you know, which is hard to settle down. You know what I mean? It's like if you loved art and they was like, you could have one piece of artwork. You're like, bro, like I like, you know what I mean? So like, I think that's another reason I'm single. Cause I don't know, just something bothers me about the idea of like getting with one woman and being with her the rest of your life. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a little, if we want to hang out and have a little fun, then well, you know, but like being so serious about it just kind of seems like it defeats the purpose a little bit. Yeah, Beatrice, it definitely helps if you're working with difficult people when it's temporary. Um, One thing I've been learning and thinking on recently is I can't expect people to behave the way I behave or the way I would want them to behave. It's their, like, if they want to be difficult, it's their right to be difficult. You know, I'm the way I am. They may think I'm difficult. This dude shows up. He's always on time. He's always doing his job. Ugh. So like I'm trying to get to the point where I just and it's a struggle, but I'm trying to get to the point where I just accept like difficult. You know, if this is another reason why I'm like, hey, if we can figure out how to get free and not have to work, we won't have to deal with none of this. But like that's what comes with this situation. In order to get this paycheck, you know, this person behaves this way, and I just have to figure out how to deal with it, you know? And mainly I just try to do what needs to be done and go home, you know, and not get too worked up on the fact that they're being difficult. Okay, this is how they're behaving. What do I still need to do? Let me just do that. Focus on the task at hand, move on. Because if I get all wrapped up in what they're doing, and then I'll, nope, let me just, what still needs to be done on this job? Let me do that, go home, you know? I see you can with the long workouts. Hey, countless, go for it. You know, I think live streaming is where it's at, you know? Go for it. Well, Jay Squiggle, here's the reason why it's hard to answer that question. You can get a year-round position at a seasonal job. And so if I have a year-round position at a seasonal job, I don't always know how long I'm going to be there. So how do you say if it's seasonal or permanent? You know what I mean? Like this summer, I had a year-round position at a seasonal job. I didn't know how long I was going to be there. So like I can't, it's hard to say I'm seasonal. you know what I mean? So like I typically just won't answer the question. That's why you won't hear me being very specific about what I'm doing. And I've decided to start talking less about my current jobs because like you don't think so, but people at your job will watch your live streams and then go back and, oh, Tim just said he's only going to be here 2 months. You know what I mean? So, or if I'm like, oh, if I'm at a year-round job and I'm like, oh, this job ends in October, somebody's going. Tim said he's leaving it. So like it can get difficult to answer. So lately, I just haven't been answering. I'm working. You know, now if I'm at a seasonal job and it's definitely ending at a certain time, I'll mention that if I feel, you know. But if I'm not exactly in that situation, well, we working, we scrubbing toilets, you know. Journey, this is what I would say. I think it's possible to get a spring job and tell them you're leaving. Hey, I'm end of April. I have another gig lined up. Do you need somebody until the end of April? Like, and I think there's companies out there that would go for that. Like, it's got to be hard to find people to start work March 15th. Everybody busy, you know? So I think it's possible to like, hey, this is a job I want. I'm going there. I just need something to tide me over. Do you need somebody to the end of April? And I don't see why there wouldn't be, you know, someone. It's worth a shot, you know. And yeah, you're not. It's not quitting if you tell them. I mean, like. I think and I know this from personal experience. Sometimes we're scared to just be honest, but like, it typically works out better. All they can do is say no, and nothing has changed. But like, you could just tell them like, hey, I want to be honest up front. I just need work to the end of April. Do you have anything for me? If they don't, cool. If they do, well, you know, problems solved, you know. And I'm sure why wouldn't they hire you back, you know? Would I ever do a past midnight stream? Probably not. I'd be in bed. I'd be in bed. Not to mention, I don't think a ton of people would tune in. So, you know. Bobby, I say when it comes to buying clothes, shop whatever works for you. You know, I like Amazon because it's, you know, free shipping and I got a wide variety. A lot of times I'm in places to where, you know, like thrift stores really, especially for me, like I'm a tall dude. So like I'm not finding nothing to wear in a thrift store, pants wise. You know, even a lot of other clothes don't fit me. So, but I just say buy where you know, what works for you. I would never recommend somebody shop a certain place. You know, and not to mention too, like someone asked me earlier, like, where do you find cheap food? Like, I don't shop for cheap. You know what I mean? Like, I think, you know, I'm more for quality and what works for you. Like, so I think you just got to shop wherever works for you. You know, but like I said, it doesn't bother me. You know, I try to, I don't buy fancy stuff, but like, yeah, if I buy a coat for $100 or $200 and I wear it all winter, I'm good with that. You know, as long as I get my money's worth. And if I have to do that every winter, you know, $200 for a coat I'm gonna wear for 5 months, you know. But it's depend. Each person has their own views on that. So like that's why I never give advice on that type of stuff because like what I might do, you might think is crazy, you know. I've definitely met people who knew me from the channel. Lots of people. I've worked with quite a few people who started seasonal work because of my video, or that was one of the videos that got them into it, and then they showed up where I was working. That's always cool, you know. Got selfies with people. That still blows my mind. When someone's like, "Can I take a picture with you?" I'm like, that still blows my mind. I remember it happened at work one day. It blew my boss's mind because it was a place. It was at the Y. I'd been there a few times, and then so like they knew me, and there was a group of like I came back one time and like it was just that season for whatever reason there was like 10 people who knew me and they were going crazy when I showed up. Like I was him. Like, hey, sometimes you got a 2-year-old going, I was him. That day, like people was across the lunchroom, yo, yo, Timothy Ward's here. Like one dude, like in the office, handed the manager the phone, was like, take a selfie with me and Tim. And my manager was like, I didn't know it was like this, bro. He was just like, I was like, I really am. I need a raise, dog. But yeah, Cyan was there too. Cyan was getting love too, crazy love too. Like they was like, Cyan's a legend. It was wild. That season was crazy. Like when I came back, because Cyan came back at the same time as me, we came back. It was crazy. Like it was love, bro. Like that was one of the craziest season of work stories for me because people just kept coming up. Oh, Tim at the table, the office. Like it was nuts, man. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm telling you, this internet thing goes places you never think it would. Hey, no problem, Journey. I just want you to find something, you know. I do not have any ethical issues with buying things from Amazon. No, I personally don't. Cindy, what up? Come, I want to go to India one day. One day, it's on the list. Oh, you got a farm? Okay, okay, okay. South India. All right. Okay, got to remember that. Yeah, I do want to come to India one day. Definitely, definitely. Jose, glad you're loving February. That Portugal trip, yeah, man. Let's get it. Let's go. NYC and Portugal. You can do them both. Fly, go to New York, hang out there for a couple of days, go to Portugal. Probably cheaper to fly out of New York to go to Portugal, I'd imagine, than other places, maybe. David, I do think quitting anything toxic can add time to your life. Yes, yes, yes. And if it doesn't, the time you have is less stressful. If it's destined for you to clock out at 82, I'd much rather a less stressful trek to 82 than without this toxic job, you know? So Bobby, if like a year-round position, it's just like any regular job. Like if you're in Cleveland and you get hired at a job, you don't know how long you're going to be there. You might be there 2 years, you might be there 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So like you have no clue how long you're going to be there. That's any job, unless it's set like a set contract, like a seasonal job that says it's only 5 months. So yeah, there's lots of seasonal places that have seasonal jobs and they have year-round jobs. So yeah, my job this summer was a year-round position. I just chose not to stay there when winter came around. Um, but it yeah, I could stay there forever if I want. It was a year-round position, you know. I don't know. Tonight, if you know, respectfully, if you're just spamming the chat and ooh, 222, nice. Yeah, tonight if people spamming the chat and they're not really talking about nothing, I don't know. I think we're not dealing with it tonight. We got to respect the chat. Hey, Scott, came across the I'm 46 and done video. First time I saw you, just want to say thank you for saying all that. You're welcome. Glad you liked it. Glad you liked it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I like doing live streams, is because like sometimes people might see one video of yours, YouTube might show them another one. And it's a lot easier for people to kind of get a sense of like who you are live. And I just like to talk to people, you know? So that's, well, I love that when someone's like, hey, watched your video, saw you were live, didn't have nothing else going on. So, so I stopped by to say, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. Stick around for a while if you enjoy the content, you know? Tracy Trott checking in from Bermuda. Is that the Bermuda flag? That's an interesting flag. Interesting. I'll have to pull that up later. That's an interesting flag. Good to see you, Tracy. My passions in life, I love women's sports, especially the WNBA, NCAA gymnastics, women's softball, women's soccer. I like trading cards. I used to really like comic books, but like I like trading cards. I like hiking. I like traveling. That's about it. You know, pretty basic, nothing too crazy. Winter, I am 6'4". RJ, we here, man. We here. Ivan, I'm a bit of a contrarian, so I typically go. One of the things I enjoy about women's sports is like more people like men's sports than women's sports. So I like being like different. But what got me into I can tell you exactly what got me into women's sports. Um, Paige Beckers. Actually, it was YouTube showed me a video of Paige Beckers, and I watched it. So then it showed me, and it showed me one with Cam Brink, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but I was like, that girl's got something. So then YouTube showed me, it was all YouTube's fault. Then YouTube showed me a WNBA game. Skylar Diggins was in the thumbnail, and I was like, So I watched it, and Sophie Cunningham was in that game. And I was like, that young lady's got it. And I instantly became a Sophie Cunningham fan. So I started watching Phoenix Mercury games because that's who she played for then. And then I was like, man, I like other women on other teams. So I just really got into the W. And then, YouTube started recommending me other women's sports. And, I would much prefer watching women do things than men. Like if you look at all my social media feeds, I have way more subscriptions to women than men. Like dudes are weird. Uh, nah, dudes are cool. We're awesome. But it's just like if I gotta look at something, I'd much rather look at women than dudes, respectfully. The only area where I subscribe to more men than women is gamers. And I'm always looking for female gamers to watch, but I feel like women game differently. I don't know. So that's one area where I watch more men, but everything else I watch more women. So, but yeah, it was YouTube who got me into women's sports. So, yeah. See, Lene is in the chat. Yeah, yeah. They came out to work where I was working at, because of the videos, and they actually turned out to be amazing people. You know, I have had people come out to work where I was at because of my videos, and we didn't quite get along. Maybe but yeah, but yeah, Lene was definitely good people. You know what I mean? So that was cool. That was cool. And like you got to understand too, if someone shows up at a job and they say, "Oh, Tim told me to come here," and they're a horrible worker, everybody looks at me, which is part of the reason I don't talk about seasonal work as much anymore. You'll notice I did like one video of seasonal work in the past how many years? I'll talk about it if people ask, but I'll do a video now and then. But beyond that, I don't, because that was one of the reasons like people started showing up and they sucked, and people was like, "Why are you sending us all these?" You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. That started to bother me, but because I can't vet people. I can only talk about the opportunity. But Lene, fortunately, was an amazing worker. And I'm not just saying that because she's in the chat and would punch me if I didn't. Lene was literally one of the best, like genuinely one of the best, and just a good person. So yeah. And I'm glad y'all loved it. Yes. Ivan, I like based on last season's teams, I like the Indiana Fever because that's who Sophie Cunningham plays for now, and Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hull. It's a no-brainer. I also like the Mystics because that's who Sonia Citron played for, and Stephanie Dolson. Who else is on the Mystics? They had a whole roster of people I liked. Who else was on there? Did Emily Angsler play for the Mystics this year? But they had a ton of people I liked. Who else do I like? Who else do I like? Those are two that but I mean, there's like four teams I like in the W. Yeah, I don't go. I typically don't care. Like when I lived places, I didn't typically care for the teams in those places. Like I like the teams I like. It ain't really based on like if I'm when I was in Denver, I went to a University of Colorado women's basketball game, and like I would, since I went to the game, I would watch the stuff like that. If I'm in the air, like I'm subscribed to the women's basketball team here, whatever. But typically, I just like the teams I like. It's not about the geography. You're born on the same day as Maya Moore? I didn't know that, Joe. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Thank you, Lene. Thank you. Thank you. Tim is the same person in real life. I'm telling you. I just be being me. I'm not smart enough to fake it. Yeah, yeah. It's always fun to train decent people. it's, a, it's, a, it's not as fun training. Like if you got to train somebody and like you're like, oh, this is not gonna be. They're gonna be. But it's always fun to trade. Like these people who like doing it, getting it. Let's go. You know, I don't do as much training anymore. I ain't mad at that. I'm actually not mad at that. I ain't mad at that. And you're welcome. Where we at? Where we at? Did I miss anything in the chat? What time is it? How we doing? 2:30. Okay. We might talk a little longer. If anybody still wants to talk, we can talk a little longer. Then again, you know what? I actually think I am going to end it on that note. Just because, yeah, it's 2.5 hours. I think that's good. It's about to be 9 o'clock. I probably should get off, eat some dinner, get ready. Got to work tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump off right now. Thank y'all so much for tuning up. Hold on, Journey came through. I don't want to cut this off. Tim, I'll give you your flowers. Take strength, discipline. The comment went away. Dang it. Oh, well, give me that next time. Give me them flowers next time, Journey. Give me them flowers next time. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna say all the prayers we said we're gonna say. I'm gonna get me a little dinner. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Appreciate y'all being part of the stream, spending time with your boy. Big shout out to the Super Chat Squad. As always, thank y'all. I really appreciate the financial abundance, the donation to the Freedom Fund, the investment fund means a lot to me. Thank you. I love each and every one of y'all. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. Stay blessed, stay positive. We'll talk again soon.